to another episode of Beyond the Dumbbells, your snarky source for all things nutrition, fitness, wellness, and lifestyle, from damaged libidos to a-holes at your local gym and everything in between.
That's right. Life. That's what that means.
Life.
Life and the obstacles that we run into because of people and because of things and because of our minds, probably more than anything.
Definitely. And we were just talking about how our minds and stuff go where when we have an opinion about somebody or an issue with somebody, it's because they are doing or saying something that we wouldn't do or say or that we agree with. So it's funny where our minds will take us to an ugly place.
This is most of life, and it's social media life more than anything, whereas as soon as you disagree with somebody, you've offended them.
Yes.
So to run into obstacles or opposition with every thought that you might have, people are now scared to express their thoughts. Mm-hmm. They're scared to stand for something because there's going to be opposition from some dumbass.
Exactly.
That otherwise wouldn't be worth even punching in the face. I mean, they're nobody. I mean, so to have opposition from people that you don't respect or that you don't have a relationship with, who gives a shit what they think? Mm-hmm. Some of our best conversations, they come from breakfast talk.
Yes.
And we started getting in today. Social media is a big piece of our business. And honestly, if it wasn't for the business, I would not be on social media.
I wouldn't either.
I hate everything about it.
I do too.
I can't stand, well, there's nothing new. I can't stand the political drama. I can't stand the armchair theorists and the idiot political experts. And I can't stand most people.
Yeah.
Most people don't have anything to bring to anyone's life that's good at all.
You mean on social media?
Social media. Mm-hmm. Because everything there is fake. And well, anymore, I'm like a weird old guy because I sit there and giggle at videos that have nothing to do with anything. It's the mindless shit that catches my attention now.
That is the only part of social media I absolutely love.
Things with pets doing stupid things.
Yes. I'm still not over the cats ringing the bell. We'll have to post that with this podcast.
People doing dumb stunts and getting hurt.
Yes.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things to watch.
Hilarious. Exactly.
We had. I'm gonna try to keep this as anonymous as possible.
Oh Lord.
We saw.
I'm gonna tape your mouth, I think.
Nope. This is okay.
Okay.
I've got lots of caffeine, so my mind is sharp.
That's almost a scary thing with you.
That's right, because it's going to come out fast before I realize that I'd said what I shouldn't have said.
Yes, and then I'm going to cut it.
So, one, people are naturally ugly towards other people, especially other people that are successful.
Yes.
And most people might think that haters exist only on a level where you're famous,
exactly.
Or you're a politician, or you're some high level. But haters come at all levels.
Yes.
And haters you can be just some nobody, couple hundred followers on Facebook, post something that makes somebody feel bad about themselves. And I'm not talking like you posted something that intentionally made fun of a religion or a belief or a body type. I'm talking you are successful in whatever you're doing, and you post a picture of it being successful, being you.
Yes.
And it brings out douchebags.
Yes.
And we started a conversation at breakfast about being ugly, unnecessarily ugly.
Yes.
And then the people that can't just be ugly online and limit it to online with angry face or a snide comment, but then they bring it in real life.
Yes.
They bring the virtual bullshit into a real conversation.
Yes.
Talking about how, how much this person is fake, or how much this person, what were they thinking, or how, but now it's fodder. Now it's a gossip primer.
Yes, but it's everything like, how could she wear that? Or how could he post that picture? Or, you know what I mean?
But even though this person in their glory is rocking it, what they're doing, but someone can't take a moment and first, no one understands perspective anymore.
Right.
And my biggest communication problem, whether it's you and I, or it's me and a client, or it's me and an old friend, it's intent and perception.
Right.
If you can't really truly know intent unless you're close to a person.
Yep.
So you really don't know what they're really trying to say if you don't know them. Mm-hmm. I'm curt, and I'm short, and I'm blunt, and I cuss a lot. So if you don't know me, you might hear me say something. Someone might hear me say something to you, and they're like, oh my God, did you hear the way Brian talks to his wife?
Exactly.
And I know this has always been a fear of yours. You're like, don't say that shit in front of other people because they're going to think you're serious.
It's the Lowe's experience.
Yeah. I think we talked about that on
We
another show.
did. We did.
But the idea that someone can't be successful and that
Whatever. Again, in whatever.
keep in mind you didn't get like a value pack in your house and this thing was submitted into your life.
Exactly.
This is something that you opted to be on Facebook. You decided to be a troll.
Yes.
And recognizing that you're not living the lifestyle of this person, you immediately start to tear them down.
Yes.
And I've had it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any. I wish I could say I'm above it. I wish I could say that people's comments didn't bug me. I do my best
Yep.
to not let them, because you have to factor in the value and integrity of the person too. And this
Always.
is, I take everyone at face value. Since I give everyone real me, I'm assuming everyone's giving me real them.
Yes.
And it's not the case.
Yep.
And when I get spun up now on something, either you're picking on somebody else or you've got something derogatory because you don't understand intent or purpose, and you're opening your face and submitting an unsolicited comment that
Right.
nobody wants to hear.
Yep.
We had somebody. Go ahead. I was going to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
We had somebody show up missing in our neighborhood. It was a we had a community member lost a family member that wandered off. They had Alzheimer's.
Yeah. I can't even.
And there was like the equivalent of a neighborhood Amber Alert. They're like,
Yep.
holy crap, my dad is out there somewhere.
Right.
It was getting cold. And something was said about this person's characteristics to say, oh, he kind of looks like this.
Yes.
Some jagoff out of nowhere in that comment posted a slur,
A slur.
which in the middle of someone's fear and
Yes.
desperation, they took that opportunity to type out 20 or 30 characters
Yes.
that I think the entire neighborhood might have had that gasp when they put it.
I could have puked when I read it.
There should be an asshole tax on your internet when you. People are going to go with the freedom of speech thing, and of course, freedom of speech, as long as it's not insightful
Right.
or does harm to people,
Right.
And because we as a society aren't balanced enough to not receive harm from words anymore. I mean, sticks and stones, that whole mindset is out the window with
Yep.
this new generation.
But I think with that instance, it was how could this idiot not take 1 second to think about if that was their parent? If my mom or dad was missing
Yeah.
and had Alzheimer's, I don't even like to say it because my grandfather did have it, and I opened our door, and let's say my mom lived with us and she's gone, and I post her picture and somebody makes a comment about what she looks like or something ugly, to not recognize the heartache that that couple was going through, your parents gone, and you take the opportunity instead of just scrolling past and not being an asshole, you took the time to type it. And this is the stuff that's killing me now with social media, and I'm having a hard time with it too. I love that the world we live in, that we're all very different. And I love that we're all different shapes, sizes, religions, political backgrounds, because I think that it makes the world more interesting. But when somebody disgusts me to my soul, or even just, it goes like, ooh, that was kind of ugly, I scroll past it. I don't use the social media platforms to be like, you're disgusting, or I hate you, or I hate your opinion, or how could you, or it's whack what we've turned into.
So, one, it's a breakdown. It's a societal breakdown where you don't know how to interact with people at a
Yes.
decency level.
Yes.
Freedom of speech, yay, awesome, it's great. I used to think there was some power in the fact that if I can make someone cry with my words, I used to be like, I'm so linguistically talented that I can find some way to cut you. There was no internet back
Right.
then, so if I would be able to tear somebody down with just what I say versus having to get into a physical altercation with them. So I could demean and belittle somebody in my immediate presence that I was having a real life conflict with.
Right.
Recognizing as I got older, that was not a great skill to brag about. You have to kind of reshape your thoughts and start putting more, like I said, perspective and intent behind somebody.
Right.
Some people, it's just not worth staining your own soul
Yep.
to get engaged in a negative confrontation about belief, position, thing, whatever you're doing. But now we're caught up where if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it. I
Right.
mean, it's a principle that's lasted generations. If
Yes.
you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. If you can't be an uplifting person in society,
Yeah.
it's like everyone in the neighborhood standing out front with a bullhorn, just constantly yelling whatever comes to their mind.
Yes.
This shit would get old.
Yes.
If I drove home and someone had shit to say about my truck being dirty, or that I didn't mow the yard, or that they didn't like what my outfit said, or I had an offensive shirt. If someone was yelling at me every time I turned the corner, I'd get pretty effing tired of it.
Yeah.
To the point where it would change me.
Right.
When you're online and you do the same thing, the people that you affect, whether you're saying it to them or it's somebody reading your bullshit, you're changing people.
Yes.
It's either making you more angry, more hurt. If it's not positive, uplifting, and beneficial,
Right.
you have a responsibility. Just as I had responsibility for my words and what I would say to people to tear them down, you have a responsibility to the people that read your shit.
Yeah.
And if you're just going to sit there and be ugly, and you started doing it and I followed your lead,
Yeah.
you get unfollowed.
Yes. I can't.
Because we can't play the game of unfriending people anymore, because that in itself has also turned into some type of, I don't want a sniper in the fucking tree line waiting for me because I unfriended him on Facebook.
Exactly.
Psychos. But now we unfollow.
Yes.
Bring drama to my door, my physical door, you're going to get punched in the face.
Right.
Bring drama to my freaking internet doorstep, you just get unfollowed and ignored.
Yep. I think the weirdest thing for me with social media is the people that won't unfollow, and they won't, somebody or something or whatever it is annoys somebody in any area of their life. And it's like almost seeking it out to get pissed off about something. And it's just, I don't understand it. Like, what is the intent? And then it's like, so let's say I posted a picture of myself and I just felt confident about it. And somebody was like, oh God, did you see Jen's post? Who does she think she is? And let's say that person comments on there and is like, oh, Jen, what's your intent behind this? And my response is simply, we all struggle. I struggle too with, X, but I felt so amazing in this.
How about I had a good hair day?
Yes, that's rough for me. But it's like, I felt so good and so proud of myself that I posted it. And it's like, no, what's your real intention? It's like, no, that you're not listening to what I'm saying. So somebody's going through and they're seeing this picture of me and they're like, ugh, God, why did she post that? What's her intent? Okay, well, my intent is I felt good. I want to inspire other women to do it. Just remember you can run a brush through your hair and feel like $1,000,000. And even your response isn't enough for these ugly trolls. So they'll still go after the dig. Now, do you believe that she's saying, Jen said it's about confidence and building things. That's not really what it's about. So still being ugly about it. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. There's no solution. And I typically don't, nobody wants advice that they don't ask for.
No.
And nobody has asked us for our advice on this. But seeing as how I'm moving up the chain as far as the years, I think there's a wisdom to the way people interact with each other. And I think having the experience to have run through the last 30, 40 years of generations, we've seen enough social change that we can see it went from, I remember the first time I made fun of a teacher. I got home from school one day and I emulated one of my teachers. I just made, she had a stroke or something and I made fun of her. Wasn't right. But I came home.
Okay, but you're a kid and
I came home and I made a
we're
comment.
all dumb as kids.
I came home and I made a comment and I got slapped by my parents.
I'm sure you did.
And it wasn't like I used a bad word. It wasn't like I made some negative, ugly comment about my teacher. And I had put myself at an adult level where I was, as if it's adults talking about adult things. I put myself in that, like I had an opinion about an elder or a senior or a teacher, but I positioned myself in my words in that it was not respectful.
Right.
And I got smoked for it. Fast forward now to the point where, one, you're not allowed to spank kids. I mean, they just don't do it. But now, when I see a teenager make fun of an adult, that's like, you're not qualified to be at the level to have an opinion about what you're saying.
Right. Even though we did it.
But I got punished for it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I recognize now that as you grow and mature, there are things that you can weigh in on that are either going to help somebody learn,
Yeah.
or there was a point in my Christian background growing up trying to figure out establishing, between Catholic and Baptist and everything else. There's a point where do you hang out with sinners?
Yeah.
And it was because this was
Funny.
hardcore Baptist, and you're not supposed to swear, and you don't drink, and you don't watch rated R movies, and I'm like, I am going straight to hell. But there was a responsibility that if you're living the best righteous life you can, and you're associated with another Christian that's trying to live the best righteous Christian life they can,
Yep.
didn't say perfect, you're supposed to call them out on their shit.
Yes.
You're supposed to be like, hey, brother, I know you. I see you in church every Sunday, and I noticed that you're kind of getting a little flirty with that woman over there. That's not a mind your own business. That is a religious responsibility that you're supposed to help keep your person out of harm's way.
Right.
This is a long track. I'm coming around to it. As we get older and you have comments to say about people, if you're not helping them learn, helping somebody dodge a bullet,
Yep.
helping somebody protect their integrity and their dignity,
Yep.
that's the only time anyone's words should come out that might be in conflict to what that person wants to hear.
Right. So a little bit of harshness.
If you're wearing something that's got cut out freaking nipples in your top and you've got crotchless panties on,
Yes.
and you're posing on Facebook with a picture of your kids behind you,
Yes.
you might want to say something. Hey, this is kind of trashy.
Exactly.
And again, you have to know the person. Don't
I
go
was going to say.
don't go volunteering it to a stranger.
No, and this goes back to what is your intent? Is your intent, are you a woman who you're completely jealous of what that woman's doing? Or are you a woman saying, I don't think you're recognizing woman to woman that you're going down a path that you may not want to, that you could be attracting the wrong type of attention? So
Anymore, you're not allowed to have that opinion. You're not allowed to give those people that type of an opinion anymore.
But I think what's really bizarre is outside of that, and I absolutely agree with you. If you really do love and care about someone, you don't want them to look bad, feel bad, hear them kind of working through, they're going to make a decision that you know is going to negatively impact their life. You do share, hey, this is coming from a place of love. If I don't understand when it doesn't, and then bringing attention to it. If it's just a jealousy thing, or
I think that's the root of it.
or just to be ugly or spiteful or rude, I don't get it. If somebody is on a different political view, if they have a different political view than me, I scroll past it. I'm not going to try to put my opinion on them or comment and be like, you're the dumbest person that ever lived, because they don't agree. Our backgrounds are different, our upbringings, everything else. So agree to disagree and move on.
And
don't be ugly.
in a world that there's so much legitimate shit to get spun up at, whether
For
it's
real.
whether it's the new male transgender athletes competing in the female sports,
Right.
You want to put a stake in the ground and have an argument about why your daughter now is going to have to go out and compete with pseudo men.
Right.
There's something to get ugly about.
Yep.
And I'm not saying within a tongue in cheek, don't be nasty.
Right.
I'm not saying that justifies being nasty or cruel to people.
No, but take a position on the facts of why something like that
That matters.
isn't right or yes, absolutely.
If you see someone rocking life, you're not happy with yours, fix it.
Change
You don't like the
it.
way you look, fix it. You don't like your
Yes.
energy, your kids, your family, your job, fix it.
Yes.
But just because somebody else is at a high point in their life, you're using that as an opportunity to lift yourself up because you're not happy, and that's the root of it all.
Of course it is.
You don't like your life, you don't like your family, you don't like your kids, you don't like your job, you don't like XYZ.
Yes.
Post that.
Yes.
I am disgusted at my physique right now.
Right.
And just be forewarned, anyone that posts a pic where you look tight and good, I'm going to say something nasty or I'm going to talk shit about you.
Exactly. But it's anything, and I think what people really need to recognize is that our lives are all very different and we're all on our own journey. And so we were driving to see your family on Sunday, and we drove by, I think it's the biggest house I've ever seen in my entire life. And we just started laughing because the construction people were in the driveway and there were like 20 cars. And we just said, oh my God, like, what do you do in all that space? Like, what is it? But what we didn't say was, I bet you these people have a hideous marriage and they have rotten children or whatever. We just started laughing at it and then moved on. And our joke was we should take a picture in front of the house and say, small business life is really good. But if that conversation had been ugly, then obviously we're not happy with something. And I wish that people would just, why do you get spun up over a picture or a quote or something that doesn't actually impact your life? And if you're jealous about it, figure out why and move on from it. There is always, if you're talking about people, somebody is always prettier, somebody's always uglier. Somebody's always fitter, somebody's always not fitter.
Just be happy not to be at the bottom.
Right. Somebody's always taller, always shorter. More successful, less successful. So it's the balance of life where it's like you don't walk in that person's shoes. You don't know what their intent is of doing something, but why add your ugly intent to it?
When you get into the point where because I have family members that are just always nasty. And when you get into the point where you can't help yourself anymore, it does become a brain chemistry problem.
Right.
It's more than just getting up in the morning, doing a devotional, going to church on Sunday, and it's like, as long as I keep going to church, I'll stop being nasty.
Right.
You have to condition yourself to be different.
Right.
So you almost have to either say, well, because one, the negativity is going to pollute your mind and your thoughts throughout the whole
Yes.
day. Even if you, in the moment, enjoy doing or saying something that tears somebody down,
Right.
that stink is going to stay on you all day. It's going to drive every thought you have because
yeah.
once that ball starts rolling. So you have to make a very committed attempt or effort to be positive. It's the only way to get yourself out of a funk.
Absolutely.
And we've tried it before, where, especially back when we were in corporate, it's like no negative talk tonight. Because once it starts, can you believe? And oh my gosh, and the traffic, and before you realize it, you're bitching about the weather, the gas mileage, the cars, the idiot that won't get over in front of you.
Yes.
And then you bring in the people.
Yes.
Oh, and oh, by the way, this. But once you start that cascade of, we call it lathering each other up.
Yep.
Once you start that cascade, you cannot break free.
Right.
And if you catch yourself being negative, ask somebody to hold you accountable. If you
Yes.
see me post something shitty online, take my Facebook account away.
Yes.
I need to fucking close it down and take
Yes.
a break. Because you're going to spend the rest of your day poking and trashing everything else that you see
I know.
throughout the rest of the day.
I know.
And I'm saying that because, like I said, I've got people that I care about that they don't know anything but how to be nasty.
Right.
They bring no value to anyone's life
Yep.
with their shitty attitudes.
And I think another side of it, because we were really, focused on health and everything, if you ever do any research on how that not only negative self-talk, but being ugly, what it actually does to you physically, it isn't worth it.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like,
Cortisol levels go up, you get fat.
but how about what about when and I think, was it just this week where I woke up and I said to you, I've just woke up and I'm just in an ugly mood. And it was
I had 4 of those this week.
Wait, today's Friday, you had 5. So if what I think is fun, and I think you and I are a very, very different couple, because with a place always coming from love for us, and we just talked about this last night, I was like, I always love you. I mean, there's not even a doubt. Call your person on their BS and just say, wow. And so the morning I woke up and I said to you, I feel like being ugly today.
Yeah.
I said it. I made a couple just nasty comments, I'm sure, about myself, because that's always where I start. I mean, maybe picked on your hair or something. And then it was like, listen to me. And you're like, listen to me now. Like we were so rude and so ugly in the privacy of our own home for 3 minutes?
That's where it stays, by the way.
And then
it doesn't find its way out to other people.
Never.
Yep.
And it was just this thing. And you said something like, this is a really bad start to the day, but you said something about that. Like, we just need to stop right now because it's going to set the pace for the day. So
it's like eating carbs for breakfast. You'll eat carbs the whole day.
I love carbs for breakfast.
You can't eat pancakes and expect to eat good the rest of the day.
I eat pancakes like 3 times a year. But I think that if you can recognize what it does to you physically and emotionally and figure out why it's a trigger for you, and then just move away from it. So back to social media.
It's hard,
If
man.
there
That's a
is,
tall order.
if there's a group or a person or whatever, personally, professionally, that every time you see them, him, her, whatever, you are filled with anxiety and anger, unfollow them
Yeah, I have to.
and just see there are women all over, and I can say because I am one, they're all over Instagram, and it is nothing but their boobs and their rear end hanging out. As soon as somebody I follow goes that route, because unfortunately a lot of women, as we get up in age, that's the route a lot of women go.
I'm sexy if the internet says so.
I unfollow them because it's not something that gives me any joy in my life. It's okay to only then shift and follow people and things that bring you joy. You don't have to follow something that doesn't. You can scroll past something and not do an angry face, or my least favorite, a love because you really don't mean it. That ugliness. That's like, I'm going to heart this because this person knows that I hate them, and I'm
think
going to
so?
let them. I can't even tell you how many people have told me they've done that. They're catty.
That's pretty freaking cold.
But it's like, it really is. If you need to be ugly and vent to your person, be ugly and get over it. Don't lie and pretend that you're perfect and you never say a negative thing about anybody or anything or a situation. Keep it with that person who you know is not going to go to somebody else. And keep it off of social media completely. It's stupid.
I don't know. I'm convinced it's only going to get worse because people don't learn lessons until you something bad happens.
Yep.
It's like being a child. People don't understand that without being punished,
Yep.
we don't learn.
Yes.
And as adults, you're not punished anywhere. If somebody doesn't agree with me, well, F them. I'm going to cut them out of my life.
No.
You don't, I don't like the way this business did this. I'll never go to them again. And I will work to destroy them on social media.
Exactly.
Because people don't accept when they're wrong anymore.
Yes.
They won't even face it.
Yes.
There's no more lessons to be learned because people think they know everything.
Yes.
And what they're bringing is their socially broken, childlike behaviors.
Yes.
Which, by the way, your kids see you.
I know.
FYI.
I know.
Mom, it goes beyond just you serving your kids goldfish. It goes one step further into they see the way you behave with other people. You don't respect your spouse. You don't respect people on the internet.
Nope.
Which is why your kids have multiple Facebook accounts and multiple Instagram accounts, and they talk the same shit you do.
Yes.
Because they've seen you do it.
One of our really good friends, who I won't say her name,
It's a girl.
does not have a password on her phone, and she has children. I have to be very careful. And the reason she doesn't have a password on her phone is because there is nothing on it that she is afraid that her children will ever see. Not one thing. She doesn't subscribe to any sites and get emails she shouldn't. She is not friends with people on Facebook that are drama or bring her down. Her Instagram page is perfectly clean, and every single text that she exchanges with people, she does not have to worry that her children will see. That is the life you should be living.
Do I know this person?
Yes, you do.
Oh, my.
Yes.
I'm impressed.
Yep. But she is an amazing person because she said, she's not stupid. Kids know your password to your phone. They are listening to every single thing you're saying, and they're repeating it. If she needs to have a discussion that she does not want her children to have, that discussion takes place when her children aren't home. It's a very real life. Does she say things she shouldn't at times? Of course. But her phone, which is the biggest problem with people, because that's where we get on our social media mostly, unlocked phone because she has no fear. None. That's what you should do. You should let anybody at any point log into your Facebook, log into your Instagram, read your Messenger, and see, are you an ugly person? What do you like and why?
That would be amazing.
It would be. We have our each other's passwords for anything, and our only rule is around Christmas or our birthdays, stay out of our email, don't look at the Amazon Prime account,
Yep.
and stay off of my phone. If it lights up, don't look over in that direction. At any other point, read anything you want
Yep,
of mine,
yep,
because
yep,
I would
yep.
never be embarrassed in front of you.
That goes to, it puts everything in perspective because if you're talking shit about your spouse
Ooh, good.
to somebody
That's-
else, and it's not good. Well, look at what likes and hearts and angry faces. We've even taken normal human dialogue and reduced our conflict with somebody. Instead of having a conversation, it's been reduced to an emoji.
Right.
You're
An
not even
angry
gonna,
face emoji.
You're not even going to tell somebody what it is about what you're doing that they don't like or don't agree with.
Exactly.
You've taken all form of communication out, and it's just now an icon.
Yes.
You're some kind of disabled kid that has to pick out their emotion on a card of 20. How do you feel today? That's where people have gotten their graduate level communications from.
Exactly. And that to me is heartbreaking because it's almost like these kids that are doing that are pointing out their emotion because they can't communicate and they can't do something.
Nice job, Mom and Dad.
It's amazing to me because all those kids probably want to do, if they've got the brain capacity to figure out, is talk about their emotions. And they can't. And now you, who could behave like an adult, are going to go and adopt the behaviors of somebody who wishes they didn't have them. Shame on you. Ugh. It's crazy.
It gives me anxiety thinking about it.
This has just been, I think that there are some weeks that I think are a little bit more rough, and I think that's why this has just been on my mind this whole week. And unfortunately, I think that there's just so much ugly sometimes that if you can't talk it through with somebody that you trust or on a podcast, that it'll almost stir you up and drive you a little bit crazy.
This week was a little hairier than usual because there are people that we know that are good people that we've just heard shit talked about. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it.
Exactly.
Try to practice genuine, true caring.
Yes.
And if you are, I've called children with smartphones are let them play with a gun or give them the keys to your car. Just because you can't see the physical damage that's being done, the emotional and mental damage is worse than a car accident.
Yes.
Because they're shaping years.
Yes.
They're being shaped into this is how they dialogue and argue and troubleshoot.
Yes.
But now you've got adults that are even worse with their passive aggressive subliminal bullshit.
Yes.
Where they're not only going to rip you on the social media world, they're going to bring that drama and bull jive to the doorstep of other people in real life and try to suck you into that negativity.
Yeah.
Negativity breeds negativity. Positivity is infectious if you're around the right people.
Yep.
Same way we unfollow and stay away from folks here. I won't get involved in conversations more than 20, 30 seconds with people that keep trying to be nasty.
No, I always have to.
So if I walk away from you, I don't want you nasty.
Exactly. And I just wish that, and like the conversation that we had in the car, we believe that everybody should act like us. It's just human nature. So when somebody does something that we wouldn't do, even if it's positive for that person, we'll take an issue with it. Try not to. Like, you have no idea. If I post a picture later today of myself in a two-piece, not trashy, but I do it, maybe it's because I'm having a shitty day. And maybe I need some likes. I don't need likes from men ever. I've got to be honest about that. But maybe I need to see a couple of my girlfriends give me a thumbs up that's like, you know what, Jen? Nice work. Don't sit there and say, did you post that because you and Brian are in a fight? Don't say it, did you post it because of whatever? If you don't know me, don't assume that you know my intention. Reach out and ask, and then don't be ugly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If somebody, posts their Tesla and you're upset because you don't have one, and it's like, if you really want one, change your life so you can buy yourself one, but don't hate the person who's driving one. Yep. I don't understand. Don't be ugly about somebody driving a beater. Don't be ugly because they're wearing a brand name of jeans you don't like. Don't be ugly because they have a really tall mohawk like you had earlier this week.
That's right. Tame the mane.
Tame the mane.
I think people are operating out of jealousy and fear.
Definitely.
And their own self-disappointment.
Yes.
Be honest about that.
Exactly.
You're going to start your day and just say, hey, Facebook friends, just be forewarned. I feel shitty about myself today, and if I see something that makes me feel bad about myself, I'm going to say something negative to you.
Gosh, I wish.
I'd unfriend you. It'd save me the time.
That would be amazing.
That'd be great. Put it as your, change the name on your Facebook account and just put curmudgeon. And I will unfriend you.
I think that's actually an excellent idea that you just put it out there. To just be like, for whatever reason, I feel like being a hater.
Mugwump.
I love that word. That and what's the troglodyte.
Troglodyte,
Yes,
not chocolate dyke.
exactly. Which is what one of our friends thought that you said that one time.
No, troglodyte.
Yes. Look it up if you don't know what it is. They're terrifying looking.
All right. This was going to be a 2-topic discussion, but I guess this one just ran long. You've heard it your whole life. Be kind, pay it forward, love one another. Take a moment to uplift somebody instead of tear somebody down.
Yes.
And we have to keep visiting this subject and this topic because the world by nature is nasty.
Yes.
And the people that actually uplift you can probably count them on one hand.
Yes.
So why don't you try contributing to our awesome society and start encouraging and uplifting?
Yes.
Don't be selfish. It starts there. Be selfless.
Yep.
Serve other people. And if you can't, stay out of the way until you figure yourself out.
Exactly. And go through today, and anything that turns you into an ugly person, unfollow it or them or whatever.
I'll tell you what else is really great, and this is an arguing skill. So if you're having a fight with somebody, let it be known what your expectation is.
Yeah.
This is what I expected this to be, or
Yep.
this is what this meant to me.
Yes.
Keep in mind, and this is a great dialogue tactic, nobody can make you feel bad. You make yourself feel bad.
Right.
It's because somebody else did something that you don't like or you
Yes.
can't be honest about. That's
Yes.
the reason you're nasty.
Yep.
But learn that. Just sit there and go, why does this upset me?
Yes.
You're going to find out it's pointing the finger right back at you.
Exactly. And if you've got to take it to social media, I love what you said. Put it right out there in the beginning. I woke up on the ugly side of the bed, and I want you to know you are all my victims today.
That's right. You're on my list. I don't even know you.
Exactly.
There you
And
go.
then post away as long as you make your declaration.
I love it. And I'll be sure to ignore you.
I thought you were saying ignore me. I was
No.
like, but I'm not being ugly.
No, the person that posted there, I'm nasty today. It's like, I'm already dealing with myself. I don't need you to.
Oh, and by the way, if somebody posts that they're about to be nasty, please don't give it a thumb up.
It's like somebody dying. So-and-so died. Thumb up.
Yes, there's some.
Yeah.
We're all weird, aren't we?
Yes. All right. Awesome. Hopefully this not so much hit the people that get the nasty comments, because I know that you're tough and you're building resiliency, but the people that just keep trying to bring people down.
Yep.
Change your behaviors.
Exactly.
It's not helping anybody.
No. Or yourself.
You're going to die wrinkly.
That is true from the stress.
That's right. Wrinkly with a small hypothalamus. Be
Oh my
shrunk.
God. You said small and paused, and I stopped breathing for a minute. I was like, we just entered a new realm
Skitty brain.
of insanity.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for jumping on, guys.
All right.
Like, share, comment, pass it around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we'll add the video that was making us laugh last night with the cats.
So good. All right. Awesome, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Have a great one.
See you in the next one.
All right.